Hi, my name is Jordan. This is my dad, Jim, the grumpy plumber. He's been a plumber for 51 years about, retired for a few.
But I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. You don't give it up.
He's still out there practicing, and he's got some strong feelings, especially when it comes to sinks in your bathroom. So this is the sink that he despises. Can I use that word, despise?
Well, don't particularly like, I go into tears when I see one. I want to run the other way, but usually the customer's blocking the door. You know, things like, but I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But Pedestal sinks, they're hard to work on. First off, people want to take the vanity out and put a pedestal in. Well, if there's no backer in the wall, if there's no wood in there to anchor to, I mean, not just a stud, because nothing ever lands on a stud. You got to have some wood to make that baby tight, because that pedestal is kind of show underneath. It's not what holds that sink up, it's against that wall, or what it's attached to in that wall that holds that there, So, and when you put them together, you got to put them together before you mount them on the wall. That's the easiest way to do it. Working up in there with what we call basin wrenches, or even if you can get a socket up in there. Some of the faucets nowadays are coming with, a nut, and you kind of hand tighten it, then you tighten it down with a screwdriver. Those are great. But, it's crowded up there. And these hands aren't real big, but still, it's hard to get them up in there. And then to hook up the trap, you kind of wrench your neck to get that in there. It might getting across to you that those things are miserable to install. But if you got a son-in-law you don't like, if you got the neighbor you don't like, and you talk him into doing it, and they do it, and they do a good job, and then you made them miserable, hey, you won.
Are the installation costs higher because of a pedestal sink, like because the plumber has to put so much more time and effort into it, or is it not a big deal?
It depends on what you got there. If they allowed for it when they were doing the construction, brand new setup and stuff, you can put them in, because you get to put it all together, just like you do sometimes a regular sink. Now everything's attached to granite underneath, or marble, or whatever you want to put it. Years ago, we used to set everything on, made a hole, dropped it on the top. They were simple to put in, but we put the faucets, the drain, and everything on it to start with, the pop-up drain, then hook up the trap and stuff. Supply lines is another thing too. The newer faucets are coming with supply lines, which I think is a great idea. And they're easier supply lines. They work, with the nuts and gaskets in them already. Years ago, they were compression, and they were really kind of tough to work on up in the spots.
You got, so with the pedestal sink, it's kind of getting easier because of the supply
easier
lines.
But they still, if they're not attached to the wall, if they don't open up the wall and put backer in it, as soon as that guy leaves, you go and lean too much on it, or somebody decides to sit on it, or whatever, it's going to come off that wall.
So if your partner or your designer or somebody who is really looking at getting a pedestal sink, it's not a plumber's favorite.
Really think about it.
Yeah.
It might not be the plumber's, but after a while, you ain't going to like it. Oh, another thing, storage. Got a lot of storage, like absolutely nothing in storage. Okay?
Yeah,
so
it's just true. Long term, it looks nice, but then it's just hard to use. You just don't have the space you need to put your stuff, or your guests to put their stuff.
So if you don't buy a pedestal, buy me a beer. I guess you can do something on the bottom of this thing. Jordan will tell you about that.
You can click the thanks button if you like these videos. He appreciates a beer.
Yeah, I'll take a beer over, to make your life better. I'm guaranteed it'll make your life better. Okay?
I'm going to go talk to the lawyer about that.